I am so excited to introduce you to an organization that is near and dear to my heart, and that is Connected Canadians. And two of the representatives are joining us to kick off the show today. Emily Jones-Jones is joining us today, and Ken Roy. Hello, you two.
Hi, Sam.
Okay, so let's start off. What is your role with Connected Canadians?
I am the CEO and one of the co-founders of Connected Canadians.
And you are a volunteer.
I am a volunteer. I actually have a full-time job. I'm a faculty member at the Sprott School of Business at Carleton University.
Wow, fantastic. And Ken, how about you? What's your role?
My role is the general manager of Connected Canadians, and that just means that I help to oversee all the different programs and services that we offer to partners that serve seniors and older adults across Canada, and the seniors and older adults themselves, and also just making sure that our whole team of volunteers are well supported as well.
And, you know, for those that may not be familiar with this organization, because I want to tell the world about it, give us a sense of kind of how it all started and what your goal is.
Absolutely. So I started Connected Canadians with a friend of mine after having volunteered with seniors for many, many years. And I think that was basically because my background was in computer science, and I just had a whole bunch of older ladies who used to turn to me for support on their technical devices. So they kind of had me on speed dial for almost every single technical problem they had.
Yeah.
And then in addition to this, because we also have a very intercultural component of Connected Canadians, I also lived in Italy for a few years, and I ended up working with a group of retired Italian seniors who were starting an NGO over there to help women and youth in Cambodia. And they needed a technical person who could help them with all of their technology needs. So I volunteered with them for 3.5 years, helping them with their things as well. And so that position really taught me the value of technology as a bridge between cultures, and as a way of feeling useful as an immigrant in another culture, because you can use those technology skills that, you know, your language skills may not be great in your new country, but your technology skills will still be great. So you can use those in so many different contexts and help people and have that sense of competence and use.
It's amazing. It really is. And I'm going to tell the world, because you're too humble, but you're a really cool DJ. I know this. And you know who else I know knows this? Ken. Ken knows this. So that's how you met, right?
It is, yes. I worked as a server at a fine dining restaurant in Ottawa, and Emily was a DJ there once a month. And, you know, it was awesome seeing her there all the time. But when the pandemic struck us in early 2020, I lost my job. Obviously, I couldn't be there in person, but Emily worked really hard to get funding to make sure that folks in the hospitality industry whose jobs were displaced were able to work with Connected Canadians as technology mentors for older adults, which, so, you know, I fell in love with doing that absolutely right away, and, you know, wanted to be as involved with Connected Canadians as I possibly could. That just got addicted to that, helping people find that aha moment and reduce their anxiety around technology, and helping them to connect more with friends, family, loved one, and community.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm hearing you, and a couple of words are coming to my mind: dignity and trust. Dignity of being able to be self-sufficient, learning new technology. They can then jump on an app, they can talk to their grandchild, they can do whatever. That trust piece is so important. Talk to me about those two words.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, in terms of the dignity, I think, you know, older adults, just like anybody else in our society, has the right to be able to express themselves and to be heard. And I feel that technology is a great enabler in that regard. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about ensuring that older people can connect, because I know that they have many, many years of experience and knowledge that, you know, the world should hear and should be able to share. And without technology, sometimes that's not made available. So that's just so important to me, and that sense of respect and understanding, you know, just that those folks should be full contributing members of society. And just in terms of the respect and so on, I like to say, in terms of Connected Canadians, every volunteer that we hire, we have an extremely rigorous training process, many levels of evaluations and testing, just to make sure, I want to make sure that any single person we train is someone that I would feel comfortable bringing to work with my own parents who are in their 80s. And I feel so strongly about that. So that level of customer service, that level of respect, is really, really huge.
Respect's a good one too.
Yes.
Adding respect to the list. Let's talk a little bit about Rogers. Of course, we're here on Rogers TV. We're listening on a Rogers radio station. Rogers is such a key component here with the work that's being done. One of the wonderful partners. Walk us through how did the partnership start?
Yeah, great question. I think Rogers really, was taking a look at some of the work that we were doing, and they, knew that there was, an opportunity to really address their older client base and to make sure that they could learn from what Connected Canadians has learned over the past several years about providing technology support and senior-friendly customer service that really takes their unique needs and into account and make sure that that's addressed as well as possible. So we worked with Rogers to create that senior-friendly training program to make sure that some of those technicians who are installing their Ignite services in homes or retirement villages and communities, had some of those skills and were able to, consider those unique needs of that population.
Well, how smart is that partnership? So talk to me about the number of licenses, how this is working with field technicians. How's it all working?
Yeah, absolutely. So Rogers purchased 2,000 licenses to be able to train their field technicians, and I believe they told us 85% of their field technicians are now trained with Connected Canadians, which is pretty awesome. And it gives them the skills to be able to serve their population in a way that perhaps they wouldn't have known how to before. So we're really excited about this because not only did we do the training, but we also co-developed some leave behind material, which also means that folks who receive some of the installation services and so on will also get the contact information of Connected Canadians to be able to follow up and receive additional support as needed. So it's been a pretty awesome collaboration.
For sure, and there's just so many amazing partners. We're going to meet so many through this show today. But when you think about Rogers, you think that's a big company, and to be able to connect with Connected Canadians, if you will, that's special.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really special, and I thought incredibly commendable on Rogers' behalf to take that step to address that population and that need. And we're just really proud to be partnered with Rogers and working officially with Rogers in that way. And yeah.
And what's the feedback been from Rogers customers that may have, come in contact with someone that's been trained by Connected Canadians?
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's been extremely positive, both from the customers themselves and also within the communities that they're working, because the communities can see, the treatment of the technicians has changed and has improved in some ways. And so it's a really powerful tool to just make sure that the technology that they're providing to people is actually something that is truly able to be used to the full extent.
Which is what it's all about. I mean, I think about my mom just calling to have a question about her bill. To even get up the sort of nerve to call, because she's nervous, she's going to say the wrong thing, she's going to get her phone canceled. I mean, they're just very nervous these days.
Absolutely. There's that feeling of, I might, press the wrong button, or I might do the wrong thing, but also that feeling of I might be judged by the person that I speak with to get help. And, they're this technology expert who's miles above me, and that perception often leads to a lot of fear, and that's something we try to reduce as much as possible with our clients, and try to also help those technicians be able to help folks with at Rogers. So
the one thing you've done beautifully is plant this seed, and it's just grown into this gorgeous garden. How is Rogers sort of taking that and growing the connection with Connected Canadians to ensure that it's even a bigger deal?
Yeah, well, we're still in the negotiation phase, but they did ask us actually for another quote for another 10,000 licenses, because they said that they would love to be able to train all of their employees. And my most recent conversation with them, they did mention that they would indeed really like to be able to use our intellectual property and train more of their team. So that's very exciting to us, as obviously it really goes towards our end mandate of being able to ensure that every senior Canadian is more effectively able to connect with the things that they care about.
And everything from banking to obviously phone and internet. I mean, all of that stuff is so important. We're going to talk to TD a little bit later, and then of course we've got Rogers Rogers. Are there any partners that you're still wanting to bring on board in terms of a category? Everyone? Yeah.
Pretty much everyone.
Anyone who has a vested interest in supporting older adults, we want to work with them, and that's why we haven't stopped reaching out to organizations and making sure that we can partner with as many important organizations who serve older adults and seniors across Canada.
Do you think back to those early days of volunteering and think, oh my heavens, I had no idea?
Absolutely. I would say, this was just something, and the only reason I would say that it probably came to mind was because of the collective experiences I had, not only working in technology myself, but also working at a few youth and female-focused nonprofits that were building digital skills for women and youth. And I just thought, why is nobody doing this for seniors? And seniors are such a hugely growing demographic right now that it doesn't make sense to neglect them, and they absolutely deserve the same care and attention that all of the other demographics do.
What do you want to say to Emily, Ken? Because she's changed your life too.
Absolutely. Emily has changed my life in incredible ways. I want to thank you for being such an incredible mentor to me through my journey at Connected Canadians, and also for opening my eyes to how important this type of work is. And yeah, I think the experience has been absolutely incredible, and I want to continue doing everything I can to keep helping Connected Canadians' mission and mandate and supporting as many people as possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Ken. You're going to make me well up right now.
It's so special. And I remember when we met, you were receiving an award for volunteerism, and that was before the pandemic. Everything's before or after the pandemic, right? That was before the pandemic, and to see how you've grown this organization, and I know it's been sleepless nights, and I know it's been incredible amount of hours, and you've brought all these wonderful people together. Truly, you're connecting Canadians, right? It's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
That's the goal, Sam, and thank you for all your help in that regard.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to meet lots of great partners today. If someone wants to become a new partner, are they reaching out to you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would welcome any folks who are interested in working with us. Seniors are an extremely important part of our population, and so if anybody that you serve you think would benefit from the work that Connected Canadians does, please get in contact with us, as we would really love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. Emily Jones joining us, and Ken Roy from Connected Canadians. We are just getting started. Stay with us to learn all about Connected Canadians here on An Hour to Give. And we're back on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade. We're talking about all things Connected Canadians today. I'd like to welcome to the show my good friend Lee Rose from TD Bank. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Great, Sam. How are you?
It's great to have you here. How are you connected to Connected Canadians?
Well, Connecting Canadians is a program that's funded through the TD Ready Commitment, our corporate citizenship platform. And we're really excited to be supporting the important work that they do to support seniors with digital inclusion.
It's brilliant. We have a friend joining us as well. Adele Osfield's here. Adele is the volunteer mentor manager. How are you, Adele?
I'm very well, thank you, Sam.
It's great to have you here. Tell me how you got involved in Connected Canadians.
I heard about the organization and I thought they are doing such great work. I want to be with them. I'm keen on enhancing digital literacy for older adults, and that's what Connected Canadians does.
They do such a great job
for me.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. They do such a great job, Lee, of making sure that seniors feel included. I know you've got your own stories of how TD has really helped seniors as well. Give us a sense of how it's worked in your own world.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sam. And Adele, it's good to meet you as well. And I think I could share a couple of examples. I don't work in a branch at TD typically, but sometimes I work in branches. So I have the opportunity to be in and out of branches, meeting community partners or things like that. And a few times, I've been able to interact with customers who, I'm wearing a pin and a blazer. They think I work in the front line.
Right.
And so when you're, front of house on stage, as we say, you're there to help our customers. Doesn't matter if you're working in the branch or if you're another colleague. There was a time when I was working out of our Westboro Station branch, and a customer who was a senior came up to me, and she'd come from the ATM, and she's like, "Excuse me, sir, I think you helped me set up my online banking last week." And I was like, pretty sure it wasn't me, because that's not typically the type of work I do at TD. But she had some questions about how to set up an e-transfer. It was her granddaughter's birthday, and she wanted to send her $25. And so this was the first time that she was going to do an e-transfer. And I remember she called it her smart telephone. And she asked me to show her how to actually process an e-transfer. And on the TD app, it's not in the same, there's a special, it's located in a different spot, the email transfer, than a regular transfer. So I walked her to the welcome desk, helped her with that transaction, and she was really excited to be able to send her granddaughter $25. Another time, I was waiting outside for our branch at Elgin and Somerset to open, and there was a customer who was waiting nervously at the outside of the branch for it to open, and he looked quite distressed. And so I asked him, how he was doing, and he said that he was worried that he was the victim of online fraud. So he had done an online transaction the night before, I think trying to purchase some Bitcoin, and he was worried that his data had been compromised. And so in that moment, again, we're waiting for the branch to open, and to see him and to reassure him that he has, no liability for those types of things. But those two interactions reminded me of the importance for our customers of being able to navigate, the technology that we use that I, think is second nature to be able to do an e-transfer or do online banking and those kinds of things. So I think of those two examples as reasons why there are many more people who might need the types of supports that Connecting Canadian are doing.
Brilliant. I mean, Adele, these are the kind of stories that Connect Canadians want to help. They want to make sure seniors have the dignity to be able to use these types of, whether it be a smartphone or whether it be your computer, your tablet. They want to make sure people feel connected.
Very much so. And it's not, Emily and Ken talked about trust, but it's also about building the confidence in seniors that I can do this. I'm a senior and I can do this.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a very important part of what we as mentors bring to the seniors that we help.
And Adele, when you connect with seniors and walk them through, do you see that confidence building?
It takes time. You can't just go in there once and it's once and done. You build a relationship, and the trust and the confidence builds with that. And Ken talked about aha moments. And when you see a senior that you're working with experience that aha moment, they gain that confidence in themselves that, hey, I got this. And that's just such a wonderful feeling for both of us, for the senior that they can do it, and for me as a mentor to see them experiencing that is very rewarding and fulfilling.
I can see why you're so well loved there, Adele, at Connected Canadians, that you're so passionate.
Well, I think digital literacy is something that seniors are just going to have to learn, and I'm convinced that anyone who wants to learn can learn. It's just a question of having the patience and the skills, obviously, to work with them gradually. This isn't, as I said earlier, this isn't one and done. Sometimes you have to go over things again and again and again, but they get it. They do get it.
They do get it.
As long as they want to learn, they can learn.
Yeah, beautifully said, Adele. And I think, I don't know about you, but any seniors in your world, my mom's always afraid she's going to break everything. She's like, I'm going to break it, and you can't break it, unless you're smashing it through a window. But,
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people, it's that confidence to build, and especially when something like banking.
Absolutely.
Right? So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, Adela talked about trust, and I think that that's so important, especially when you think of people's finances. Like, that's a very intimate thing. It's a very personal thing, and it's for a lot of people, that's probably one of the most important parts of their day-to-day lives. And I think the thing I really like about our partnership with Connected Canadians and the work that they do is the trust and the equity they put into the relationships with their clients. So it's not just a one and done. We're building relationships with mentors. So they know that they have point of contact. They've built out a really great referral network and other organizations that they're working with that are trusted because, as a senior or as anyone, I'd like to know that who I'm talking to is someone that I can trust.
Right.
And we're really proud to partner with Connected Canadians because for our customers and also our non-customers who are using these services, that element of trust is so important.
100%. And Adele, encouraging others to become mentors. Do you inspire others around you?
Yeah, well, without breaking my arm to pat my back, I do inspire others, although, frankly, I tend to inspire more seniors than I inspire others, just because people look at me and they say, if she can do it, I can do it.
I love that.
So it's certainly I'm an older person. I'm not elderly. I am an older person. And I happen to love technology, and I share that love with whomever I get a chance who'll listen to me, quite frankly. Anyone who'll listen to me, I'm happy to share this with.
Yeah, well, I can see why. You're so connected to Connected Canadians, and this is the type of elevated service that's being given at Connected Canadians. As somebody that is helping to fund this, connecting with Adele today must be nice.
Yeah, it's so good to see, and like the people behind the work that we get to
Right.
do. I said, as you know, Sam, I have one of the best jobs at the bank.
You do.
But getting to see sort of firsthand and to see the beneficiaries that are impacted or that benefit from the programs that we support, it makes my job even better.
Absolutely, it does. And Adele, what do you say to a senior that says, "Oh, you might be able to do it, Adele, but I can't"? What do you say to them?
I say to them, if you're willing to learn this, I'm willing to teach you, and you will learn. But frankly, if your mind is closed, I can't open your mind.
Yeah.
I can help you with technology, but I can't open your mind. So, do you want to learn this? They tell me yes. I say, fine, let's get to it. Where shall we start?
And what's your
slowly? Sorry, go ahead.
background? I was just going to ask, what's your background, Adele?
Well, strangely enough, it's not in technology. My background's actually in human resources. When I graduated from university, I had the choice of tech or human resources. I took human resources. I'm not sorry that I did that because some of those same skills I can apply in this role. But when I finally retired for good in 2019, at the end of 2019, just as COVID started, it just opened up this world for me that, as much as I hate the expression indulge my passion, it really has enabled me to indulge my passion. Now I'm self-taught.
That is very
And I
impressive.
say to people,
yeah, it's very impressive.
I can
Adele, for
learn,
sure.
you can learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think about TD, I think about all the things that would be on TD's plate. Why Connected Canadians?
I think, this June is Seniors Month, and we know that there's one of the things that we're really concerned about is making sure that our customers feel that their money is safe, that they feel safe in managing their finances. And we know there's a lot of experience. You might have heard of like elder fraud and people calling. And right now there's a popular is not the right word, but a fraud scheme where someone calls or pretending to be a grandchild, and telling them that they're in distress, and then saying, "Can you please wire me some money? I'm over here." And so, with AI technology, they can mimic the voice of someone that they know. They can look up all sorts of information, and that's a significant risk. And I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier about trust and supporting that, and being able to provide those customers or seniors that opportunity to learn about and how to identify those types of risks that come through, but also the benefits to access to tools so that they can be self-reliant in those spaces. And I think that the team at Connected Canadians does an incredible job connecting clients, but also with the mentors and the work that they're doing. So that, again, that full service approach. And so that's one of the reasons I think we're really excited to be continuing to work with them.
Yeah, wonderful. And if someone's listening right now and watching us, Adele, what would you say to them to inspire them to reach out to Connected Canadians if they also want to increase their digital literacy?
I would say to them that digital literacy can expand your world, and Connected Canadians can make that happen for you.
Well, that is beautifully said. That is perfect. And that's exactly what it's all about. I mean, I think about all the things that TD does. This is one of the coolest things you're doing.
Yeah, and I think for me, again, the conversations like this, meeting, the chance to connect today, just makes it really real for us. And I think like those 2 customers that I was able to assist in a branch, knowing that they can go home with the confidence that their banking is secured, that they have the skills to be able to navigate those tools, that feels really good.
Feels really good. The whole thing feels really good.
Feels great.
Great to connect with you, of course, Lee Always,
Good to see you again, Sam.
Community Manager, of course, for TD Bank. And Adele Osfield joining us as well, volunteer mentor for Connected Canadians. We're talking all about Connected Canadians today here on An Hour to Give. Come on back, everyone. We're learning all about Connected Canadians today, and I'm so happy to have Gurjeet Tour in the studio with me today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Gurjeet, tell me a little bit about your work with the Southeast Ottawa Community Health Centre.
Yes, so Southeast Ottawa Community Health Centre is one of 6 community health centres in the Ottawa area. We provide services for a variety of clients, a lot of seniors as well as newcomers, as well as folks who have a lot of social determinants of health that create barriers for them in their well-being. So we're a multi-funded, not-for-profit, community-governed organization. A lot of our funding does come from the Ministry of Health as well as other ministries and other funders, including City of Ottawa. So we provide a variety of services, including primary care, as well as settlement services and other wraparound supports to folks who need additional resources in our community.
Well, of course, it begs the question, how are you connected to Connected Canadians?
Well, as we all have been through the experience of the pandemic, digital tools became prominent in terms of how we ended up delivering a lot of health services during that time, and we continue to do so. There has been this kind of gradual push in healthcare, but I think the pandemic expedited things for us in terms of being able to provide this kind of hybrid model of healthcare. And so we were starting to realize we need additional resources and supports as a community health center to support our clients. And that's where we kind of reached out to Connected Canadians and started to ask the question, like, how could we work together and partner?
And lots of partnerships is what makes Connected Canadians, I think, so special. We've got Sarah Agvamy joining us today. How are you, Sarah?
Good, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can. You sound great. And you're coming to us from Best Buy. How did you get connected to Connected Canadians?
In so many wonderful ways. We're a member of AgeWell, the federally funded program that focuses on research. And one of the things that we got involved in was access to digital literacy at Best Buy Canada. You know us as a retailer of technology. But probably don't know us as folks who also put a digital literacy program together for older adults. And through that connection, we met a wonderful team of Connected Canadians where we just learned so much about the love they give back within communities in a most charitable way. So I can delve into that, but this is how we got to meet. And I'm sure there are so many other connection points Emily can talk to. That's probably skipping me now.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I think that whole sort of perspective of big corporations connecting with them is wonderful. And then, of course, there's smaller organizations, right, Gurjeet, that also benefit from a health perspective. So much of that is going online, and it can be daunting for seniors. Walk us through the connection here and some of the actual tangible things that have been done with your organization.
100%. So I'll tell you a little bit about one of our regional programs, which is actually geared towards older adults, especially frail older adults. And so we have a primary care outreach to seniors program, which is regional. And our nurses and community health workers go into homes of very isolated, vulnerable seniors who need resources and supports and those wraparound connections to be able to get the care that they need, including securing their care team with that senior, and oftentimes having that technology piece is a factor in that. And so, we would sometimes have our staff spend some of that energy and time in navigating the digital tools and things like that, and recognizing that our staff are quite busy and have a lot of things that they need to get done. It's important that we have a partnership like Connected Canadians to support with some of the digital literacy pieces and access to digital tools. So that's kind of where our focus has been with Connected Canadians. We're hoping to further expand that across our programs and services, and further highlight the need around digital equity.
Yeah, it really is. It's very impressive. And Sarah, talk to me a little bit about how you're working with Connected Canadians on a weekly or daily basis.
Yeah, with Connected Canadians, we do lots of cool things. I mean, what we have in Best Buy Canada called Best Buy Digital Citizen, it's an online tool usually led by the user. And that's fine and dandy for folks who don't mind getting online, but the in-person or on-phone conversations that Connected Canadians enables just takes that service over and above what an on-site school can do for older adults. So together, the whole conversation is about how can we bring the latest and greatest from our vendor technologies in terms of steps to get to the apps or steps to get the technology working. And Connected Canadians puts that together and makes that into such a comprehensive training program for volunteers to come in and get hours of training how to go in and do that good work, because volunteers are fantastic only if they're trained to the nth degree, which is exactly what Connected Canadians provide. So things can go sideways with untrained volunteers, trust me.
Yes. And they put such pride into that, Sarah, how they've done that over the years and continue to do that. And the people that they've engaged, I think they've done such a beautiful job. Would you agree? I know there's been a number of sessions done as well through SEO.
100%. We've had Ken come for some sessions with our seniors. We have a seniors group that meets weekly and does different talks and conversations. We've definitely brought in Connected Canadians for some of those conversations around, phishing emails and internet scams and things like that, and other, digital literacy topics. And the interesting piece around, this connection is that, we very much appreciate the aspect around digital literacy, but we also recognize that we'd love to expand this partnership further around having access to the devices and the Wi-Fi to be able to get to that point of digital literacy. And a lot of our clients at Southeast Ottawa and in many CHCs across the province, we have clients who are 50 to 60% more medically complex and socially vulnerable than the average Ontarian. And so I'd love to see an opportunity where an organization like Connected Canadians could really help us create an even playing field in the digital world around our clients, and being able to access everything in our society, in our world, in terms of services and opportunity.
Absolutely, beautifully said. And Sarah, your role includes, as the director for Best Buy Canada, inclusion, diversity, equity, and belonging. And there's nothing more inclusive than making sure everyone is truly connected.
100%. It's equal access. And those are a very intelligent group of people we're talking about. I mean, this is the same generation that brought us fax machines, Xerox, X-rays, so microwave, may I say. But so these are very, very intelligent group of people. What we haven't done is provide the service in the way that's comprehensive. And again, thanks to Connected Canadians, they break it down in a way that they can go back, to their lives, through connection once again.
And what do you see when you're at the community health center and you see people that maybe just don't know how to use the devices, or don't know how to use apps to make sure that their health is of the optimum? When you see that, are they frustrated?
Definitely lots of frustrations. We have a Millennium Learning Center in our center where clients can come and use the computer. And so we often have our receptionists at the front there kind of support and guide. And you can see the frustration when things are not working or email hasn't been received. And sometimes there's a lack of understanding of how things work over the internet or how processes work around technology. And so definitely we have those experiences with clients and with all the forms that often our clients have to have completed in a timely fashion, or even doing income taxes, for example. That's a really challenging experience for a lot of folks who
It's
don't.
challenging for me, by the way.
Well, exactly.
Right?
And so if it's challenging for the average citizen, it's definitely challenging for the types of clients that walk through our doors. And so anything we can do to support them and get those barriers lifted, that's our mandate, that's our goal. And so that's where Connected Canadians and Southeast Ottawa are very much aligned.
I love it. And Sarah, I have to mention the Geek Squad. Talk to me a little bit about the Geek Squad.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's our national service that we provide for in-home and in-person support, as well as in our store. It is a paid service, and this is why we felt it was a socially responsible thing to do to partner with charity, such as Connected Canadians. So for whatever that doesn't have to be payable, it doesn't have to be payable. It's only when it gets to the ugly problems of, a laptop riddled with viruses, or at a point that we need to get the wrenches involved, is when Geek Squad can come in and actually do the work, so the person doesn't have to go through a brand new repurchase of the device. So I feel like we've done such a good job connecting the hands where the service, if it gets talked about, is trusted. We're not trying to exploit the environment nor the vulnerable need here to sell technical support. So the only way we enter is through Connected Canadians talking about it in a responsible way.
And we're hearing Best Buy. We heard earlier about Rogers, and we heard about TD and Chartwell and Amazon, and you're this community health center. But does it inspire you to know that corporate Canada is looking after our seniors?
I'm 100% inspired with everybody here today, and I look forward to conversations with each one of them, because oftentimes community health centers are organizations that are not well understood in terms of the types of work we do and the types of clients we serve, because we don't serve the average Ontarian. And so I am really, really excited to see these corporations coming to the table and having these conversations, and I look forward to the opportunity for CHCs to be part of that conversation.
100%.
Yeah.
You're at the forefront too, which is kind of cool, right?
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, well, we were one of the first, right? So that's kind of neat. That's kind of great. I love that. And Sarah, how proud are you to work with Connected Canadians? Do you share that with your team at Best Buy?
I share with the world. I'm so happy. I mean, these amazing folks put their money, meaning their effort where their mouth is. They work so hard. I don't know how many hours they have to put in the side of their desks, but through the most famous virus, and even now they haven't given up, no matter how much pressure was on them. I'm backing them up all the way.
I love that. And you feel the same way, I know.
100%.
Yeah. What would you say to other smaller organizations that are maybe a bit afraid about, kind of having an outside organization come in this way?
Yeah, I think sometimes, especially small not-for-profits like ours, sometimes try to fix it all or solve all the problems ourselves. And the reality is we know what we do really well, and we want to continue doing that. And there are things out there, just like digital literacy, that Connected Canadians does that they're really skilled at and they're really great at. And we want to leverage that and be able to, focus on the work that we need to do while supporting other organizations like Connected Canadians to lift some of the barriers that our clients experience. So I definitely see this as a win-win.
It's a win-win for sure. It's a win-win for Best Buy. What would you say to other corporations, Sarah, that may be thinking about jumping on the bandwagon?
Well, if they haven't already, it's absolutely their loss. I mean, Canada's changing. We have $40 million people stuck, to the border crossing. So we're a strip of people who are also inviting other backgrounds and heritages in refugees into our country. So country's never been changing so rapidly as it has. So having a program that puts somebody through a rigorous process that only connects people in their mother tongue at times is the only option Canada has. So they just have to join this movement. Do not create solutions on your own, please. We have too many small jobs here and there. Let's just join the proper train, and then just make the greater good met at the end. So please join.
Perfect. That's the perfect place for ending our show today. Thank you so much to Gurjeet, and of course to Sarah for joining us. To all of our guests, what a wonderful opportunity to learn all about Connected Canadians. You can connect with them. I'm Sam Laprade. This has been An Hour to Give. And we're back talking all things Connected Canadians today on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade, and I'd like to welcome Amanda Richards to the studio today. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
I'm so well. Thank you for having me.
Good. You work for Chartwell, and you have an impressive title. Not only business development, but community engagement. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit how you connected with Connected Canadians.
Absolutely. So I think Emily and I actually connected initially just before COVID, and she was telling me all about sort of the vision for Connected Canadians and helping older adults improve their digital literacy. And it was just such an impressive endeavor that she was going down. So we were very interested to learn a little bit more and to figure out how Chartwell might be able to access some of the services for our residents and also the seniors that are surrounding our residences in the areas that we operate.
It really is impressive. And Chartwell, of course, many people, have got loved ones there. It's really an important organization. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit where you are located, let's say, in the Ottawa area.
Absolutely. So we currently have about 10 properties in the Ottawa area. We've got properties in Ottawa itself, in Canada, Nepean, Orleans, and then a lot actually in Gatineau and into Quebec, where a lot of the work with Connected Canadians has been done in these early days.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Celine Lee is joining us as well. Hi, Celine.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You have a very important job, but tell us what you do.
I am the country manager for Alexa in Canada, and my team's mission is to work smart on delivering the products and services that are delightful and locally relevant to customers in Canada.
Oh, I love that. And let's talk a little bit about the connection with seniors. And I know I keep going back to the pandemic. I mean, we like to kind of forget that time of our lives, but really we relied so much on Amazon to get us those goods that we needed. How did you connect with Connected Canadians?
At Amazon, we're really on a mission to help Canadians feel more connected, more entertained, and more independent. And that's why we're making significant investments to ensure technology is accessible for all ages, stages, and walks of life. You're right that the pandemic was definitely a turning point, and we first partnered with Connected Canadians in 2021 with donations of Echo Show devices to senior communities in need around the country. And that included Indigenous communities, immigrant communities, seniors living with dementia, veterans, and many more. And Connected Canadians helped us get the devices in the hands of more than 10 senior living communities and co-developed some senior-friendly guides and documentation for the recipients of these devices, alongside with the mentorship. We've then continued to work with Connected Canadians as we've built our Alexa for Senior Smart Properties initiative, and Connected Canadians was the first solutions provider for that launch, which enabled us to install about 50 devices as part of a pilot with Ria Village in Ottawa.
I love that. And I love the term that was just used, solutions provider, because that's exactly what Connecting Canadians is providing solutions for seniors. You know this all too well. You sponsored National Seniors Day. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. Such an important thing for us to be participating in, and we're really excited to be sponsoring another event with Connected Canadians in 2024 for National Seniors Day. So just a way for us to raise some awareness and help them raise some funds to continue the important work that they're doing to increase digital literacy.
And it really is amazing to see, companies like Chartwell and companies like Amazon. I mean, these are big companies. Talk to me a little bit, Celine, about how this kind of came about.
So, when we launched Alexa Smart Properties, the idea was really to help senior living residents to keep in touch with their loved ones, connect with their community, access community news, and really more using this device in their room. This gives them and family members peace of mind, so they can, easily get in touch with one another. And Connected Canadians' mission is just so tightly aligned with that effort. And so we've really we found in this collaboration a lot of synergies that has helped us make this technology available to more and more people who can benefit from it.
Wonderful. And from a Chartwell perspective, really ensuring that everyone that would come in contact with Chartwell, has the ability to connect. How key is that for your business?
It's becoming more and more prevalent, right? We know that seniors are more comfortable with technology now, especially post-pandemic, because everyone sort of needed to adapt very quickly to using, platforms like Zoom and using their iPhones. But now it becomes more of a question when people are looking at residences. How are your residences set up for Wi-Fi? Are there programs that will help us use technology to connect with family and friends within the residence and outside? So I think it's just going to continue to be more and more important.
And it's just growing every day. There's nothing, Celine, that we can do these days that doesn't seem like it requires some sort of a digital presence, whether it's using an app or purchasing something from Amazon. It's something that's so prevalent, and it really is not only affecting the seniors, but the Alexa project is helping all Canadians.
Yes, Alexa is really built for everyone, and it continues to open possibilities and new ways for people to experience the world. The voice aspect of it is an incredible natural way for people to interact with their home, with their loved ones, and really helps us achieve this, enable the access to technology for everyone, including seniors.
And the onboarding of volunteers from a Chartwell perspective, you take amazing volunteers that are so passionate. We met a volunteer earlier that was so passionate about her work. How key has it been for you to make sure that those volunteers are so beautifully aligned?
I think it's absolutely remarkable the amount of training and onboarding that the volunteers actually receive through Connected Canadians. And I had the privilege of talking to Tanya, who's their volunteer coordinator, earlier today. And she was just helping walk me through sort of all of the stages that they go through for their orientation. And it's so important that we have trusted partners like Connected Canadians taking the time to really make sure that the volunteers are going to be a great match for our residents in terms of not only keeping them safe, but having the empathy, the compassion, the patience to work one-on-one with them and all of the residents. So it's been wonderful.
And Celine, we keep hearing those words over and over again: patience, trust, compassion. When we think about Amazon, we think about you being such a big company, but the reality is you're people too, Celine.
It is true, and trust is just really important. One of the most impactful thing I think that I've heard since starting our collaboration with Connected Canadians is feedback from actual seniors and them talking about how these devices are becoming, a part of their daily lives, something that they're able to use multiple times a day that helps them in their everyday lives. And I think that without trust, that wouldn't be possible.
And what would you say? Thank you for that. That was beautiful. And what would you say, Amanda, when we think about Emily and her, the small idea that's just turned into really this connection, to so many people in this community, connecting volunteers. I love the hospitality angle. I mean, there's just so much that works here. You work with seniors every single day. How important is it that Emily took this idea and she just didn't let anything stop her?
Nothing's stopping her.
Yeah.
No, I think it's remarkable. And like I said, I love the hospitality side of things and I love the technology side of things, and she's merged them beautifully to create this platform that enables people to continue on their journey of lifelong learning, of being connected to friends and family, and we're so happy and proud to support that initiative.
Oh, I mean, it's wonderful. And there's, the accessibility initiatives at Amazon. I mean, this would fit right into that mantra, right, Celine?
It does. And, that's where Amazon is really working backwards from the needs of the customer. We really are striving to be the customer most centric company out there, and being able to support people as our society is becoming more technology dependent with each year that passes. It is something that we're really proud to be able to do.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and I can only imagine my mom. We're going to be moving her soon, and the options out there in terms of placing somebody that is going to that next stage of life. This is something that Chartwell, you stand out now. I know you know that.
Yes, we do.
But it makes you stand out in the best way possible.
Yeah, we our sort of our value proposition is our customer experience. We pride ourselves on delivering an exceptional customer experience for our residents, for our staff, for our families. And I think that this partnership is just a way for us to continue that journey when someone is living in a Chartwell residence in the best way.
Yeah, and all these partnerships, over 130 across this country. Celine, of course, the fact that Amazon is part of it, what would you say to other partners, potential partners out there that just haven't connected with Connected Canadians yet?
And I think we're really proud of the work that we've done between Amazon and the Alexa Canada team, as well with Connected Canadians over the years. We're really united in our goal to help make technology accessible for everyone and support the work that the Connected Canadian team has done to promote digital literacy among older adults.
Yeah, and what would you say as well to inspire others to jump on board?
I think that as we start to look at the shifting demographics and the aging population of the country, this is only going to become more and more important. So if people are looking for a way to contribute to something that's going to give back in a really meaningful way and enable people who might be socially isolated or seniors who might not be able to see their family as often, it's such a worthy cause and such a great platform to give back to.
Yeah, absolutely. And last word to you, Celine, in terms of Alexa. This has been really a lifeline for so many people. Inspire us right now and tell us how we can get connected.
Well, we really see this in the powerful feedback from customers. The pandemic again being a turning point where we heard a lot of people being isolated and being able to connect to loved ones and stay in touch and being more independent, thanks to the power of their voice and Alexa. And so we're just super excited to be able to play a role in this and to support Connected Canadians.
Well, thank you so much to both Celine Lee and Amanda Riches for joining us today. If you are a big corporation in this country or a small organization and you want to get connected to Connected Canadians, I know they want to hear from you. We're not done yet. Lots to talk about. Stay with us to learn more about Connected Canadians here on An Hour to Give.